The fear that like you might not have a committed relationship should not deter you or lock you into a relationship that you're currently in when you're very obviously looking around.
Hello, Nar.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing good, all of us. Well, I can't speak for all of us. Are we all doing good?
We are all doing good
doing
tonight.
Doing great.
All right.
Well, I guess should I just talk about what's going on?
Yeah,
Let's
tell
go.
us what's
All
going
right.
on?
All right. Well, basically, I'm gonna try my best to not sound like an a-hole here. Okay. So, basically, I'm dating this girl. I've been dating her for about 2 years now. But I think the issue I'm having is that as of lately, I've just been I'm not into the relationship as much. I think I'm kind of, looking at other girls more often. I go out basically every weekend nowadays and stuff like that. And the girl is like, she's really sweet, she's really nice. Like, I mean, she could be the mother of my children. I'd probably be like, cool, awesome. But I think I think it stems from that I had a relationship before her, like right before her. It lasted about 3 years, 4 years. And then she cheated on me.
Oh.
And so like now I'm basically like, I think I'm kind of scared of the commitment. But at the same time though, like I also don't want to just like, I don't want to keep dating someone for it to just end like that again. And so it's like kind of like, do I break it off with this person even though she's a great person, but like it's not fair to them to kind of be also looking at other people all the time and
In what way are you looking at other people? Like you want to sleep with other people? You want to date other people?
like sleep with other people. Cause like I mean I dated that person for like 3-4 years and then like it was probably like 5-6 months and then I got into this relationship. And for context, I'm like 23. I'm 23.
Have you
So-
have you had that? So you've been in relationships from like your young adult life pretty much the entire time.
Exactly, yeah. Like when I was in college, like there was like maybe a couple months of just messing around and that was it.
Okay, and you definitely want to sleep with other people.
Um,
Be honest with me.
Oh man.
Yes.
Or nor.
Nor, I'm going to be honest with you. You are 23 years old. You've been in relationships from the time you were very young, and you haven't had the opportunity to explore, and you owe it to yourself to do that. And this is the time. I'm telling you, this is the time of your life to go do that. Breakups are never easy, but this is the time to go explore and do that for yourself.
That's great. That is great advice, Austin. That's incredible
Thank you.
advice.
I mean, if that
Thank you,
itch is
Hassan.
there, it's not gonna like
Like-
go away. If you regret 5 years from now that you never got to explore, you could end up resenting her for that, which isn't fair to her
yeah,
either.
but then it's also like a 50-50 because I also don't want to like, because like the other thing is that being single is hard. Like I think a lot of times it's a lot easier to look at single people and be like, yeah, like that's probably the life. You can go sleep around with whoever you want. You don't have to like worry about anything. But then at the same
fuck?
time though, it's also nice to have someone.
The fear that like you might not have a committed relationship should not deter you or lock you into a relationship that you're currently in when you're very obviously looking around, especially because like you're going to start developing significantly more resentment towards your partner because whether you recognize it or not, internally you are going to associate them as the anchor that's holding you back from experiencing all of these different things, which will ultimately lead to you doing what has happened to you, right? Because you said you were cheated on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like you even recognize that you certainly have not recovered from that. Like, and you got into a relationship without even recovering from that and doing something that is so damaging that happened to you to another person would be not something that you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So staying in a relationship out of fear is the worst reason as to why you would stay in a relationship. Fear that like you might not be able to find a partner as wonderful as the one you currently have is not a good enough reason to stay in a relationship. You need to take some time and work on yourself, or even if you are in a relationship, you need to still take some time in the relationship to work on yourself. How long have you guys been dating again? Sorry, you mentioned this.
2 years.
You've been dating this person for 2 years. When did you start thinking about other women?
Probably a year and a half ago.
Oh my God! So 6 months in.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, basically.
You've been
yeah.
thinking about other women for a year and a half?
That's the honeymoon phase. Is 6 months.
God
in.
damn.
Look, man.
Yeah. I think it's tough, but I think you gotta rip that Band-Aid, brother.
And also, don't think of it as like just purely sexual. Like you mentioned, oh well, like don't think about that part. There must be something else deeper, right? That makes it so you don't want to be with this person, right? It may be something else. So don't think about it as just purely sexual.
Someone in the chat also correctly pointed out it seems like a Rona relationship too.
Yeah, it was. So like that's the thing. Like every time, like everything, like for the last basically the first year was basically just me and them hanging out all the time together, like nonstop.
Yeah,
So it's hard because like I also don't want to hurt
during
that
Rona,
person.
you didn't have a lot of options. You couldn't fuck around.
Yeah.
And then once that was unshackled, when everywhere opened up a little bit, now you have like literally the opportunity to do such things. So your eye is wandering. It seems like that's not. It doesn't seem like it's healthy. It seems like the longer you stay in this relationship, the more you hurt this person.
I think you identified the issue when you said that being single is hard. It's the fear that Hassan mentions. I think if it was a Rona relationship and you got into it because potentially you were afraid of being single, it was a lot easier to be together with someone at that time when everyone was quarantining. I think that you really should identify that part of you that is afraid of being single and what that means. What feelings arise when you think about being single? Is it loneliness? What is it about you being alone as an individual person is scary to you?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I think the thing is like I like relationships. Like I don't know, like obviously I'm pretty sure everybody does, but like you get a person to hang out with all the time, right, and stuff like that. But then I don't know, like when you're single, there's a lot of times where you're just going to be sitting there by yourself, and I think that makes me scared to just kind of be by myself. Like I have friends, obviously, but like
what is it about being alone that causes you to have that fear? Is it your own thoughts? Is it like what are the feelings that you feel when you think about, oh, I'm just alone and I don't have any relationship to go to?
Yeah, I mean, it's like depressing. It's just, if everybody's busy around me, like usually there's always like one person that's going to be like that person in that relationship's usually always going to be there to talk and stuff like that.
It feels
but
like
if they're not there.
The relationships are here in your life to fill a void that you feel when you are alone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
You're nailing it. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spitting.
Yeah,
You need to. I mean, you're young, so you're gonna grow out of this 100%. So it doesn't matter. But one way to grow out of it is by becoming not so codependent. One way to grow out of this is by spending time with yourself and also working on yourself. That is like one of the best parts about being single is that you have so much time to yourself to invest in yourself to ultimately, become a better person.
I would challenge you to challenge yourself to take a weekend where you don't see your partner and this is literally just your time to identify the feelings that you're feeling that come up when you like, why do you feel the need to be with someone? Why do you feel the need to break that time of being alone and really kind of get down to the bottom of that? And I think that's the source of your issue here, because if you were totally fine being single, there is a chance that at the 6-month mark, when you started looking at other people, you would be able to identify, this relationship, I thought that it was something I wanted, but it's not. And it sounds like you stayed in it for, 4 times longer than you may have because you have that fear of being alone.
And here's the other part, okay? Even if you're a selfish person, I'll give you why you should do this as a selfish person. Like, even if you don't value their time, right? And you're like filling a void, basically, right? With this other person. You have to remember, like, there is a better person out there for you that will actually captivate you, that you 100% will not have to just use as a security blanket. like you are currently, and you're kind of cucking yourself from finding that person that you would want to be with, that you would truly want to be with in a healthy relationship that is based in, you know, mutual respect, like a real partnership. Because right now, what you have doesn't seem like it.
That's a fair point.
You know?
And
Yeah,
she deserves someone that really wants to be with her.
Yeah, but we're misogynist.
Yeah. I mean, that's
This is why
that's
you
like
brought me, right?
yeah. I mean, like that's why like I'm like yeah, like that's my thing. Like I think that she does deserve better. And that's why it's hard because you don't want to hurt that person. Like I don't want to hurt them and make them like sad.
But you're hurting them by staying with them if
But-
you don't really want to be with them and if you're looking at other people.
And the hurt that they will feel is only exponentially
Yes.
worse the longer it goes
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Every moment that you spend with this person, you are contributing more to the inevitable downfall. Like it's gonna be worse overall for them.
Also, short-term, welcoming short-term discomfort is a way for you to avoid long-term suffering throughout your life, So welcome this uncomfortable feeling so you don't have to deal with this bigger feeling later. I think 23 is a great time to start to get down to the bottom of this.
Oh yeah.
It's ahead of
Great
schedule.
time.
Yeah, and like Mikey said, ahead of schedule, a lot earlier than a lot of people do. So I think it's great that you're in this mindset, wanting to call in for advice, wanting to figure this stuff out, wanting to figure yourself out. Huge props.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, thank you for the advice. I think that was great.
We'll be figured
sure.
out. Nar.
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 No.
Dope.
All right, now.
All right, ciao, Nar.
I'll see you guys.
Ciao,
Yep.
Nar.
Bye.